it succeeded beautifully in serving the powers of evil. The millions of bodies, which for us, of course, and I think for most decent people, are unbelievable tragedies, don't invalidate the purpose of ethics, because the purpose of ethics historically has been to serve evil and to fatten the tax cows. Because if we steal and kill each other, that's not good for the farmers. I mean, you want your cows attacking each other. You want your cows to be rich in milk and meat. So we're not supposed to attack each other, because that reduces our productivity. Right? The great advance of the modern age is people realize that if the serf gets to choose his own occupation, he produces a lot more value. Right? We have free-range serfs now. But you know, the end of free range is not freedom. It's a chicken nugget box. So that's the downside. Let's start the mind with an incredible downside. But that's the downside. That, I believe, is a reasonable and credible, you can't prove it, right? They didn't write this stuff down, whoa, you're crazy, this is still a realm of opposites. Right? So, but this is, I think, the natural tendency. I'm a big fan of that which is most efficient tends to, you know, the meme thing, you know, that there's an evolution in ideas. That which is the most efficient for those in power is the one that tends to rule, right? Because you've got to ask yourself, why do the philosophers not point this out? Let me give you one example. Socrates. Oh, bastard. Everybody wrestles with Socrates. Nietzsche said it, I said. But Socrates was a real rat bastard at the end. What does Socrates say? Majority of men are ignorant fools. The law is the majority of men. You must obey the law because it's virtuous. What? I mean, how do you even say that with a straight face? But we don't know what Socrates said. We do know that Plato saw what happened to Socrates, and that may have affected his writing to some degree. But this is constant throughout history. Kant said, act as if the rule of your action becomes a general rule for everyone. It's universal. And then he wrote, but you have to obey the prince no matter what. Now, if you're into logic and you believe that ethics is about universality and obligation and all that, then you're like, what? That makes no sense. But if you accept that the purpose of universality is to make you more profitable to your rulers while excluding them from the very rules that they impose upon you, it makes perfect sense. What Socrates says, what Kant says, it all makes perfect sense in this paradigm. And that's my view. So this morning, I'm crushing everybody's soul, breaking everybody's spirit, making us all incredibly depressed. But it's okay, there's coffee. but this afternoon, I want to make a positive case, right? I don't want to be the Nietzsche guy who just, hacks stuff down. I really want to make it, because I really genuinely believe, and I wrote this book, I think 5 or 6 years ago. It's available for free on my website, freedomainradio.com. I believe that we can solve the problem of ethics. We don't need punishment, we don't need gods, we don't need governments. We can solve the problem of ethics from a purely philosophical standpoint, and with audience participation, and it'll be fun. I'll show you how, I think. You can tell me if it's right or wrong, in your opinion. But there is hope. We can break the cycle. We can turn ethics into what it's supposed to be, which is that which serves and enhances virtue, rather than that which fattens us for slaughter, historically. So that's it for this morning. Boy, I wish I had a rousing ending. And that's it. Do we have any questions or comments?
If you want to keep talking with people, respond to their questions, that's fine, but there's coffee, muffins outside, so if people want to help themselves.
So your choice is between the betterment of your souls.
We can leave the door open, so...
Actually,
I'm staying here talking to you.
No, if you have questions or comments, I mean, I'm here for the day, so if you do...
We'll start the next session at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.